Hello, good to see you again. I will now talk about how the day went because I don't know. I guess I don't have anything better to do. Here I go. So the day started out at around 7 o'clock. I was woken up by my mom, who told me that our family friend had made me, and her some eggs on fried tortillas or fried tortilla chips. So I got up, I ate that. It was very good, very much enjoyed it. And then my mom offered a toast with butter and raspberry jelly, and I accepted the offer and I made a cup of coffee. I ate the toast. It was pretty good. And yeah, coffee was pretty good too. Then I remember my mom thanked me for making that nano banana edited video of what our backyard may look like with the new fence that my mom is planning on putting in the back of the house. And then she wanted me to walk outside in the back of the house to see if we could find any cats. We just walked around the backyard with the pool, and then I remember seeing one of our cats, orange cat Malcolm, who was watching us, and I waved at him, and he ran away. I decided to go see where he was, and he was like on the side of the house, like on the top of a brick wall, and on the neighbor's side. And I decided to sing to him, and then he left. So that's what happened. I then remember going back inside, and I remember I was finishing my coffee, and my mom was hanging out with me on the we're sitting on like chairs, two soft cushion chairs in the living room, and well, we were side by side, and I remember telling her about this new chatbot that's been banned by the U.S. government called Claude Fable 5. And I told her the reason why it was banned was because apparently it was so good at coding that it posed a potential national security concern, where the U.S. government's reason for wanting it to be shut down was because they were afraid that foreign adversaries would get their hands on the technology and use it to break into the U.S. government's systems. So that's why they commissioned Anthropic, the company behind Claude Fable 5, to shut it down. She was very surprised about this and was very shocked that such a powerful tool was allowed to roam free in the public for a while. It's like giving people the power of like a digital god, in the palm of your hand. I found out about all this because I was watching that Dan Dingle video last night where he was making a Minecraft clone, and he was essentially getting super into it, like asking Fable 5 to consistently fix and update the game he was playing, and it added new features. And yeah, he got like super into it. It was really interesting to see. Yeah, he said, yeah, every time I ask it to add something in, it just straight up works. It's crazy. So yeah. Then my mom left for church. I decided to stay home and sleep for a little longer. When I was done, my mom and a family friend had returned, and my sister was up. And so we hung out with each other, me, my mom, and my sister. I remember I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and made it a cup of coffee and watched a video by Matt McMuscles about Battletoads, what happened. Yeah, it was a pretty engaging video. It was basically about how Battletoads was designed to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles clone that was supposed to be more edgy than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but ultimately that franchise ended up just peaking after 1994, and then it just went to dormancy for a super long time, only to return as a character cameo in a reboot of Killer Instinct for the Xbox One, and then as a re-release of all of the Battletoad games on the Rare Replay collection for the Xbox One. So, yeah, and then there was an actual new Battletoads game that was made and released in the 2019 or 2020. This Battletoads game was basically made to be sort of poking fun at the fact that fans of the series had waited so long for a new entry, and it was basically like characters from the 90s trying to desperately maintain the relevance in the modern era. And it used a Saturday morning cartoon art style. Yeah, its visual style I thought was pretty appealing. But you could definitely tell that people who were involved in creating it were kind of making fun of the fact that we're making a revival of an old 90s IP that no one had touched for so long. And the thing was, the metrics for its success were put into question because it said over 1 million had viewed the game or something like that, or involved themselves with the game. But this was at a time when Xbox had unleashed their Game Pass service. And the problem with Game Pass is that it tries to be a Netflix of gaming. But the problem is that Netflix works for movies and shows because they're passive entertainment that you turn on, you watch beginning to end, and then you move on. With a video game, it's much more involved. And so, it made sense back in the day to have Game Pass because it was actually a really excellent value. You paid a small price, you had access to a lot of excellent first-party titles, day and date, and release. The problem was it was an unsustainable model that just didn't make sense for the long term, and ultimately, a lot of gamers who played it was damaging for indie developers or people who made smaller games like that Battletoads, because people are like, well, why should I spend $10 to $15 on an indie game when I can just spend $10 to $15 on a Game Pass subscription and then play as many indie games as I want? It kind of destroys the revenue for those kinds of games because people are less inclined to actually buy the game and support the developer. Instead, they're supporting the publisher who is allowing you to play the game on that service. So yeah, when there's that news saying 1 million viewed Battletoads, what it's really saying is 1 million people probably were just trying to find something to play when they got their Game Pass subscription. They saw Battletoads. They were like, I know what that is. They played it for a little bit. Maybe they kind of liked it, or maybe they didn't. They uninstalled and then they moved on. So yeah, not really a good measure of success. Yeah, I don't really understand the whole idea of like something like Game Pass. So you're telling me you pay a subscription fee to have access to as many of these games as you can get, but then ultimately, like, it's the developer and publishers who allow their game on Game Pass who ultimately financially suffer on Xbox because people aren't paying full price for the game. So therefore, naturally revenue will be a lot less on the Xbox platform compared to PlayStation or Nintendo or PC. I think it's just absolutely crazy business decision, especially for gaming. Not exactly sure what they were thinking. And of course, it ended up proving to be unsustainable because they actually had to increase the price much later. Like, I think recently now it's like $30 a month. So it's like $360 a year for Game Pass. It's not worth it anymore. Yeah. Such a shame. But yeah, I guess that's what happens when you try to be a trailblazer for a new way of delivering games, but ultimately that new way of delivering games just doesn't make much financial sense at all. Anywho, moving along. I told my sister all about what I learned, and then my sister was interested in trying mindsight experiments. So I decided to meditate with a mindsight meditation for like 20 minutes to see what I could, if I could get in touch with my more extrasensory perception side of me. So I just meditated for like 20 minutes with like a little thing covering my eyes to block out light. And when I was done, I was ready. I helped my sister prepare some cards. I forget what they were called, but like they're cards that have different symbols on them. And then we had to glue them onto thicker paper, so that way, the way it works is you have 5 different symbols, like a star, a X, a squiggle line, a circle, and a square. And then you have to, I think there's like a plus in there. And then you have to look at the back of the card. You can't look at the front of the card. You have to make sure it's a thick enough card to where you can't see what the symbol is. And then you have to guess what is what that card is, and you mark it on a little like sheet saying it's this one, it's that one, it's that one, and then you see your results at the end of the session to see how well you are at gauging your understanding of what potentially could be the your how good your clairvoyance is, basically. I got 22 wrong and only 3 right. So clearly I'm not very clairvoyance abled. My mom tried it and she got 5 right, but 20 wrong. So a little better than me. And my sister tried it and she got 6 right and 19 wrong. So overall, my sister seems to be the one with the best clairvoyance. Pretty interesting. Well, after that, I had to get ready for work, so I made a sandwich. I put some walnuts and a kiwi fruit in a bent-to-go box container. I got a Sprite, I said goodbye to my mom and my sister, told them I love them. I was all dressed and ready to go. I left and I arrived at work where I got out of my car and yeah, punched in, brought my food upstairs to the break room, put it away, went downstairs, put on my vest, and got going. I sweeped the produce, I sweeped the break room, I sweeped the store floor, I wiped a icy mess that accidentally happened in the front end of the store. So like I threw ice, like I sweeped the ice in a little dustpan, put it in a container, and then put paper towels in there while that I wiped away the water so no one would slip. So that was cool. I took out the trashes in the front end. I did go backs, and then like there was this like guy who stopped me and wanted me to talk about like all this stuff about like movies and like all manner of different like subjects. It was one of those kind of politely caught in a conversation thing. You know, it's like okay. Luckily, my timer went off. I have a timer where it lets me know when I need to punch in my sweeps, and my timer for sweeps went off. So I was like, oh, gotta punch my sweeps. So I punched that in, and I punched out for lunch. So I went upstairs. Before I did though, there was these things called goodles. They were the microwave goodles cup containers, and I wanted to try that because I liked them the way they were in the regular box with the milk and butter. So I was like, I wonder what they're like in the microwave version. So I got one. I bought it. I went upstairs. I made it, and as it was being made with some bottled water, microwave for 4 minutes, while stirring the bottle, the water in there, and microwave. And I had a sandwich. I had walnuts. I had the kiwi. Well, first I had bites of sandwich. Then I had all of the kiwi. Then I had my last bag of Frito-Lay chips, and then I had the mac and cheese, which was the Gooder noodles, I think they're called. The Goodle. Yeah, I think it's called the Goodle. The cheddar cheese flavor. It was all right. I wasn't really blown away by it. I liked the one I had a few days ago with my sister, the Okie Smoky or Smoky Dokie one. That one was good to me because it had the noodles had sort of a bite to them. They had a thickness that was pretty nice. This one kind of had a similar texture to mac and cheese for in the microwave as well. So I wasn't really blown away by this one, if I'm being honest. But I'm glad I tried it, and I do have 3 containers left, so I'm going to be whittling away at that throughout the next 3 days. Yeah, and I was eating. I was listening to a Ross Coulthard where he was having a Q&A about his thoughts on like UAP task force and how it wasn't a nothing burger, and how he believed it was like them going up to steps of the Capitol to get the attention of the president, see if he can do some proper disclosure, not just lights in the sky. Yeah. So pretty interesting stuff. I went back down. Before I went back downstairs, I was talking with a coworker and another one. They shared a donut with me. It was really nice. Yeah, and then I went downstairs. I punched back in. I took out all the trashes. I refilled the bags. I wiped down check stands 8 and 7. My coworker wiped down the rest of the check stands other than 4, which is the last one I wiped down. And then I did go backs. I finished the go backs. I closed the produce blinds. I cleared the lot. My co-closer, he brought the carts and signs in, which I was very grateful for. Oh, by the way, I told three of my coworkers about the whole AI fable thing, and they were surprised about that. So that was pretty interesting. But anyways, yeah. So everything was put away, and I punched out. Went upstairs. I grabbed my Bentgo box. I went downstairs. I said goodbye to a coworker who said they were going on vacation for the next week, and they were going to go to the Las Vegas Sphere, and yeah, they were excited about that and the Grand Canyon. I said, "Ooh, that's good. Good for you. Very nice." And then I punched. Well, I already had punched out. I said goodnight to my co-manager. I went outside. I drove home. I did get a call from my mom a little earlier telling me that some chicken curry and rice was home waiting for me, so I had that. When I got home, I heated up on a pan. I had a prebiotic Pepsi cherry cola. It was pretty good. With the rice and the chicken curry. Very nice. I watched a What Happened by Matt McMuscles on Jet Force Gemini. It's pretty interesting. And then I decided to take vitamins, brush my teeth, and record this video. And that's pretty much my day in a nutshell. I'm going to publish this bad boy now and then go to sleep. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And up the camera. And I will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody, and good night.